Hey, howdy! In this video, I wanted to talk about jumping into the unknown. The world is crazy at the moment, in case you haven't noticed. Just making sure you know, because you might be living under a rock otherwise. But a lot of people are going through huge changes, and change is scary because we've been taught that change is not acceptable in our societies for various reasons. So in this video, I wanted to talk about changes and jumping into the unknown. I feel like a lot of what is happening right now is inspiring people to just completely overhaul their lives, and I've spoken to a few people that have done that, and it makes me so excited to hear when people do that. Because it's kind of like this, you can use this time to either dwell on the negative or go, okay, what do I need to do? What is my path through all this chaos? What do I need to change? What do I need to change in my life? What changes do I need to make? What life do I really want to be living? And how do I make that happen? What did I come here for? There's an opportunity to start asking these types of questions, and sometimes when we ask those types of questions, we kind of think about the solution and we go, oh no, that's too scary, because it's jumping into the unknown. The unknown is scary, but only because we project our own ideas of what we think that unknown means. We think that bad stuff. We project our own fears onto that unknown. But the unknown is just the unknown. You don't know what's going to happen. There's nothing, it could be good, it could be bad, it could be good and bad. Is there any good with a little bit of bad? Is there any bad without a little bit of good? It's the yin and yang factor. There's always a silver lining. But I wanted to create this video with my new housemate. As you can see, I haven't moved out of my current place yet. We're still transitioning. It's been very chaotic beginning of the year. I recorded this video with my new housemate, Kayla, who's an amazing human being, and I'm so excited to be living with her, but we also have a few things to work out to make sure everything runs smoothly. But what I love about her is that she's jumped into the unknown in huge ways so many times, and I thought that she could be a great inspiration for anyone else who is scared to jump into the unknown, to just do it. Because generally when we jump into the unknown, on the other side there's the life or something that we were always meant to experience, and we wouldn't have experienced it unless we jumped into that unknown. So in this video I talked to my friend Kayla and about her experiences jumping into the unknown. I share a little bit about my experiences jumping into the unknown, but I also want you to know this. Just because you change your life constantly, even though that you start to understand that change is a process, sometimes it doesn't make it any easier. Me and Kayla and her husband Johnny, they and their baby, they moved up all the way up here because they got locked out of Melbourne, and now I'm moving onto the farm with them. And you think, you know, we're experts at change and jumping into the unknown, and that all this should be easy, but it's not. We have come across some bumps in the road and things that we need to work out and just, you know, acknowledge as well, and we've been doing that really well. I think we deserve pats on the back with how we've been handling everything so far. But just because change happens doesn't mean that it's going to be any easier. Sometimes it's not even about that destination, but the growth that occurs when change happens, when you jump into the unknown, is along the journey and along those hardships. And I feel like the hardships that we go through are an opportunity for us to upgrade ourselves. And in order for us to be able to upgrade ourselves, we need to go through some inner turmoil and start to allow the parts that no longer serve us die off, the old paradigm to die off, and then for new parts of ourselves to be reborn. So throughout life we always die and rebirth, internally die and rebirth. And so I really hope you enjoy this video. I love Kayla and her little baby Ollie and Johnny, and I'm so excited to start this new adventure with them on the farm, and yeah, just getting through challenges as they come along and changes as they come along. We're jumping into the unknown head on. They've made a huge change, and everyone in the world is going through huge changes right now. So I hope that this video inspires you to really sit still with yourself, listen to yourself, and figure out that next step in your own path and what you need to do in order to live your truth and jump into that unknown. And if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to this video and like this video, subscribe to this channel and like this video, and leave me a comment of, you know, have you ever jumped into the unknown and how did that turn out for you? You know, have you ever listened to your intuition and jumped into the unknown, and how did that turn out for you? I'd be surprised if there was negative things that come out of that, but I'm open to any answer. Let me know. Hello! I am here with Kayla, who is a self-love coach, yes, mental health coach, and also my housemate now.
And friend.
And friend, yes, of course. Yes. And we decided to do a video talking about jumping into the unknown, because there's a lot of confusion happening at the moment in the world, and I think one of the scariest things for people is not knowing what's next.
Yeah.
And we were just talking about, you've just done a huge leap into the unknown.
Massive.
Yeah. And I've done a lot of leaps into the unknown. You've done some huge leaps in your life. Yes. So we were talking about all the leaps we've done and the changes that we've had in our lives, and thought it could be a useful video and very relevant for everyone that is going through similar kind of like, you know, it's more like letting go of control and just jumping into the unknown, and even though you're scared, still doing it and not knowing how things are going to turn out, you still do it.
Trusting that the universe will take care of you, and trusting yourself and following that intuition that wherever you are led is where you're meant to be. And when you open yourself up to take that huge leap, you're opening yourself up to massive opportunities, such as this huge one that I've just had, as Steph is my roommate when I was just living 17 hours away a few days ago.
Yeah, tell us about this story. Tell us about this, Kayla.
Yes. So,
and by the way, we are sweating balls, like so sweaty because it is so hot.
Yeah. You're gonna be next.
Kayla. What's your mama doing?
Trying to cool off.
Yeah.
If he doesn't want the tub I'm in. So my family and I have moved from New South Wales to Melbourne last year, and then we had a crazy lockdown where we were locked in our homes pretty much for 9 months and could just go outside an hour a day, and it was just, we just moved there, so we were in a place we didn't want to really be anyways. It was really foreign to us. And so we finally got out, the borders opened, and we were like, yes, we're gonna go on holiday back to New South Wales to see our friends. Well, going in there, went to the northern beaches and happened to be a COVID outbreak when we got there. So yay, we were not allowed to go back into Victoria, back home, unless we isolated for 14 days.
And you had 2 COVID tests that came back negative.
And we're traveling with my 1-year-old son. So we are on day 11 and we get news that they are closing the borders in 12 hours. And since we had been on the northern beaches, we're not allowed to make that 12 hours. So we are left to just sleep in our cars, just like everyone else that got shut out. And we were just really blessed that we had been wanting to move up north, here for a long time. I had journaled all about it, that it was gonna happen, that we were gonna do it, about this beautiful land that we'd be living on before we even knew about this place. And I just messaged Steph and she said, I have a home, it's your home, come on up. And we really, I mean, it's what we wanted, but we also had no choice. We could not go back into Victoria, so we had nowhere to go. So we were like, all right, we're going to our new home. We're gonna figure out how to pack our house from another state and just get everything sent to us. And we drove here, having 11 hours, having no idea what this place even looked like, and just trusted that it would be amazing. And it's the most amazing place I've ever lived.
Yay.
Yeah.
And you and Johnny have been talking about this for a while, where you wanted to live on the land and be self-sustainable and just kind of get out of the city and stuff like that. You showed me a journal entry that you wrote like a couple of days
like
ago?
3 days before we found out we weren't allowed to go home. I wrote about how we're going to be living on a property with land, growing our own food, and how amazing it's going to be, and that my business is just going to flourish, and that we are going to be in nature where we belong. And then we literally had to move right away. Like, there was no choice because we weren't allowed to go home. So,
and it's so funny because the day that I started advertising for housemates on Instagram, you didn't even see that.
No, I was more, because we were on holiday, I wasn't really looking at my phone, and so I didn't even know she was looking for a housemate. And we haven't even talked for like probably a few weeks. And I just sent her a text and said, hey, we're coming up north, and she's like, you are the roommates I've been manifesting.
What you said was like, I just want
putting
to let
it
you
into
know,
the world.
putting it into the world that we're going to move up to this area, and I just want to let you know so that I'm kept accountable to it. And I was like, oh, I'm looking for housemates.
Yes.
And it was so funny. I sent you some videos and photos of the place, and you were like, yes, we're making a decision, we're coming up. And I was like, wow, that was really fast.
Yeah, literally, so quick. And this is little Oliver. This is my son.
Yeah.
I'll make sure he's covered.
Yeah. we'll protect your private bits.
Yeah. No, he's like, I'm not gonna protect yours.
Yeah.
Little baby. Yeah. But even like that has been my motto, because I literally moved all the way from America to Australia, only knowing one person that I had just met a few months before coming here, and I just trusted and knew, and I was leaving a home that I loved and had created the most incredible community, but I knew that there was something else out there for me. And so I literally just moved here with my friend and met my husband and Steph the same day, the first weekend I was here.
Yeah, that's so true.
So,
wow,
all about jumping into the unknown,
so
and trusting yourself.
Tell me about, like, what does listening to your intuition feel like for you? Because a lot of people don't know what it's like.
Yeah, so a lot of us, we ask for support. I mean, I don't know about you, but I'm always calling in like direction. We're always asking for an answer. I want to know what to do, and always asking other people, what should I do? But really, we have all the answers within ourselves. And so it's really about getting quiet and listening and really noticing those thoughts and feelings. But it's really about, how does your body feel? Where is your body pulling you towards? And that takes time and practice. It's about tuning your body to that inner voice, and the more you do it, the more you know. But we all have that feeling sometimes in our stomach, like our second brain, to know if something is right or wrong. And so it's about listening to that inner gut. Even though if you don't know the answer, how do you feel? What do you feel is pulling you towards a certain direction? And you don't have to know why. You don't have to know why you're doing something. Like my family, I was like, I just booked a ticket to Australia, and they're like, no you didn't. And I'm like, yep, selling everything, I'm going. And I didn't know why. I just knew I needed to be here. And then everything just opened up when I got here. So listening to yourself.
Definitely. And
what's
like
intuition for you?
It definitely feels for me like a pull. Like definitely it's a feeling where I kind of am excited about it but scared as well. Like it makes it's something that makes me feel kind of alive, and it just feels right for me. Like this place where we're living now, you know, I wasn't going to take this up for a while, but it just kept nudging. Are you okay?
This is the dog water bowl.
All right.
Okay. You just wanted a little bath. It's okay.
But it's something just kept, like this image of this property kept coming up, and it's like that niggle that happens within you, where you just feel like there's an idea that won't go away. And if you tune into that and listen to it and kind of delve deeper into it, it's kind of like the next step in your path. Yeah.
And I love that explanation too, with the excitement and a little bit of fear. Like it's something that if you're nervous about it, it has a message for you. There's a reason. We only do things that are important when we're nervous.
It's like going into the fear. We have a baby playing with the camera. Baby, what are you doing? Baby,
come here. When it comes into the unknown, you have to just take that leap. And sometimes people are wondering, well, when and how? And you don't have to know when, and you don't have to know how, but you kind of just have to jump. Because if you wait too long, you might question yourself, you might think about it for too long, and is this right, is this wrong? But really it's just all about dipping your toes in the water, getting in, and just taking that leap. Because if you don't do it, when are you gonna do it?
Yes. And it's so funny because we've been taught that change is bad. You know, all of our lives, it's like there's like people that ask you, that say, oh, you've changed, as if it's like a bad thing. But change is the only constant in life, and it's so important for us to just constantly have these little times where we get out of our comfort zone, so that we can learn to adapt to different situations, so that we can get used to change and actually learn to love it. Otherwise change can be really bad when it happens all at once, but if you consistently take little changes and get out of your comfort zone, then it becomes easier and easier each time. You're kind of like, I've done it before and I landed on my feet somehow, so I'll do it again.
Yeah, because as my husband says, with change is growth. But a lot of people have that fear of the unknown, and they play a lot of what if situations in their head, and I feel like that is something that just feeds the worry, and it doesn't help you, and it just makes things more complicated. Because if you're thinking about all the bad things that can happen with taking the leap, you're not opening yourself up to the good possibilities that can come your way.
Yeah.
And so it's all about your mindset and just telling yourself, I got this, I'm capable, I trust myself, I can do it. Those positive affirmations that are going to push you in the right direction when you're taking that leap. And not letting fear take over.
Yes. Let's talk about positive affirmations and how important they are, because your subconscious mind, you're literally programming yourself with the things that you say to yourself.
Yeah.
So, and a lot of people don't realize this. They just, you know, there's so many little memes that I see where they just talk about that words are spells. And so any words that you say, you're kind of casting a spell on yourself. So it's so important to program yourself with the right spells, with the right words.
Yeah.
So what kind of what do positive affirmations mean to you? And what kind of positive affirmations do you have?
Yeah, so a lot of the coaching that I do is inner dialogue, and it's helping people with their mind and that language that they speak to themselves in their head. So I always had a really negative inner dialogue and spoke unkindly to myself, and oftentimes that comes from when we're little kids, and we don't even have any evidence to back up if it's true, and we don't even know why we tell ourselves. Okay.
Beep.
Hold on.
Time out.
Beautiful and natural, and
We're
there's a lot of
breastfeeding.
shame for women breastfeeding, and you know, it's all about taking the cover off.
Yes, exactly.
So yeah, when it comes to our inner dialogue, I always told myself, you're fat, you're ugly, you're stupid. I mean, all of those things that we tell ourselves, but I didn't even know why I told myself this. And so when I started telling myself other things, it was because my yoga teacher in a class, she said the words, you are enough. And it hit me. I was like, I've never heard that before. No one's ever said that. And I went home and I looked at myself in the mirror, and I had a really bad eating disorder at the time, and it was like I could see myself for the first time when I said those words. And so I was like, you know, I don't believe this is true, but what if I started to change those thoughts and the things I told myself, even though it didn't feel real. And so I told myself every day, you are enough, you are loved, and you're worthy, until 9 years later now on my self-love journey, I believe it and I know it's true. And I believe there's a lot of power with our minds and what we tell ourselves. So you might not believe it now if you start testing that subconscious, those thoughts, and changing them, but
it's literally
with
reprogramming
time,
everything that's already in there.
Exactly.
So it takes time for sure.
Yeah.
So in relation to jumping into the unknown, what kind of affirmations can people tell themselves?
It's literally, I got this, I will be okay.
Yeah.
The universe has my back is a huge one. Wherever I go is where I'm meant to be. These are the kind of things that you can write on your mirror. You can do sticky notes in your car, write it in your journal. I always say, speak it out loud, visualize it, and write it down for what you want to happen, and actually visualize yourself doing that and what it's going to look like, but not just what it's going to look like, but how you want to feel.
Yeah.
And using those affirmations, finding the ones that work for you, are going to help you on your journey of the unknown.
His little hand just The things that I like to tell myself when jumping into the unknown is, I trust myself, I trust the universe, and everything happens for a reason, and the universe has never let me down. Like, even during the hardest times that I can, even just going back to, you know, last year, a year and a half ago, to the ayahuasca, even though I was going through the hardest time of my life, I've landed in a really good spot. So even though there's parts that might seem really hard and like I can't get through it, I always land on my feet. I'm always looked after, and the universe always has my back.
You won't be thrown something that you can't handle.
Exactly. Yeah, that was a huge one, actually, that I'm never given anything that I can't handle. So, and when you keep repeating that to yourself, you start to believe it, and you're just like, okay, I got this. I got this. I can handle this.
Yeah.
Somehow you get through it.
It's about what you tell yourself. we can tell you these things, but if you don't believe it, it's not going to help you. And so it's all about, what do you tell yourself? How do you speak to yourself?
Yes.
Because you live in your head every single day.
Absolutely.
So
yeah.
be
And
kind.
Yes, 100%. And believe in yourself. Trust yourself.
Yeah.
And it's interesting from a tantric perspective as well. Hello. He just wants to get involved in this video.
He sure does.
From a tantric perspective, jumping, you know, the world has been operating from such a masculine perspective where we just want to know what the next steps are. We have goals and just need to know what's coming next. And that's very masculine, like having that clarity, setting goals, knowing what's next. That's a very masculine energy. And now what's happening is the unknown is the feminine energy domain. So not knowing, going with the flow, using our intuition, trusting that everything's going to be okay, and being spontaneous.
Yeah.
And maybe in the past we've just forgotten how to do that. But it's all within us and we're all capable of it. It's just that we need to remember how it's done, really, so that we can go, okay, I got this. I'm built for adaptation. I'm built to figure things out on the go as well. And then when I go through a crazy stage of getting stuff done, jumping into the unknown, it's like comes back to rest and then self-care as well. That's feminine as well, feminine energy, how important self-care, rest, self-love is, just so that we can recuperate. When you're going through huge changes in your life, what's your self-care practice?
Movement. Movement is everything for me, and I love the word movement over workout, because movement can be anything. It can be a dance party, it can be a walk in the rain, it can be literally anything that you want. But moving my body is a way to like shake off everything that I'm going through and just kind of like move it around so nothing gets stuck or stagnant. I feel in my body. Another one is journaling about what's going on, so I can get it out of my head and onto the paper. But yeah, movement and journaling have been with this too, because this is such a beautiful thing that's happening, but it's been stressful too, of course, but in a blessing in disguise in the end.
Absolutely. And at least when you practice self-care, you can always come back to a state of equilibrium. You're not just operating from fight, flight, freeze. And so when you practice that self-care, it's like bringing yourself back. No titties on YouTube allowed.
Did it show?
I don't think so, but I can always blur it out.
I'm back. Sweaty, even sweatier.
Baby is fed. What were we saying? Oh yeah, so when you practice self-care, you can come back to that state of equilibrium where you're in that, you know, we can't actually do critical thinking in a state of fight, flight, or freeze. That's why it's so important for us to come back to that state of equilibrium, so that we can think about the best option, best long-term options. What's the best solution for me, for my family, for my community, for the world around me? When we're operating from a state of fight or flight or freeze, or freeze, we're just thinking, I don't want to be eaten by that tiger, so I have to have short-term solutions. I don't think about what are the best solutions for myself, my loved ones, my community, the earth. I only think about surviving. Baba.
He wants the other one. Yeah, because there's actually a part of our brain
that other boob time.
There's actually, I cannot remember the science right now, but there's a part of our brain that actually gets shut off when you're in fight or flight mode, and that part is the part of your brain that is able to make those logical decisions. Exactly what you're saying. But my friend actually, I told her yesterday what's going on, because she lives where I live, and she's like, She's like, you just sound so calm and like grounded. Are you just pretending to hold it together, or do you really have this together? Because people just cannot wrap their brains around that we just got locked out of our state and decided we're moving then. And I was like, no, I actually am really calm and grounded, and that's what I teach people, is how to create sunshine during a storm. Is just whatever you're going through, you can be calm and grounded so that you can make those logical decisions, but it's just all about that self-care and how to really nourish yourself, nourish your body.
Yeah, definitely.
With your mind, it's the thoughts. It's the inner dialogue, and that's why I'm able to stay so calm and collected.
Yeah. What do you mean, your thoughts, your inner dialogue?
Like, I didn't have any worry or fear taking over. I didn't have any moments of this is a bad decision, or that bad things are going to happen. I just didn't even let my mind go there. And I think because I've been doing this for so long, of the inner dialogue work and having a positive, those daily positive affirmations, that I was able to just be calm for my family during the whole trying to figure out exactly what's going on.
So you never freak out?
I absolutely freak out sometimes, for sure, but in this situation I didn't. I even had my period and I didn't freak out. Yeah, no, I was like, we got this, everything's gonna be okay. And as my husband says, I'm his calmness.
Are you still bleeding?
Yeah. I'm not as of yesterday.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I'm bleeding now.
But I stayed pretty chill.
Yeah, you did. Throughout all of that.
I just knew.
Amazing.
I was like, oh man, this could be really, I usually get really, really emotional.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of like all worked out perfectly. And sometimes you just need to trust.
Yeah.
Sometimes, like, you might not see like the solution coming, but you just gotta go, this is gonna work out somehow. I'm gonna work out somehow. I got my back. We're just gonna get through this somehow, and you just gotta trust that it'll work out. And sometimes that's the only thing that you can do.
And that's what it was. It was that
that's an ET moment.
I was trusting and knowing that we would be okay and that we were headed in the right direction. And so that's why I was able to stay calm. Because it would be scary. I mean, we would literally, the government had left us to be homeless in our car. If we had no trusting, leaping moment of we're moving up here, we would literally like be in a car right now.
Young family with a toddler.
With a house that we pay rent for in another state that we're not allowed to go back to.
Yeah, with jobs.
Yeah.
In the other state, and they can't go back.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Crazy, crazy.
Now my husband finally they just made it so that people with essential services jobs, which he is able to go back. So they just made that rule, so he was able to just get a permit and just left about an hour ago. But not Ollie and I, but he'll be back here. He just needs to go finish work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. Is there anything else, like any other advice that you would have for people that might be facing the unknown, or like that need to just listen to their intuition, or figure out how to listen to their intuition, or anything like that?
We'll say that every leap is going to be different, and through transitions it can be messy. It can be difficult, it can be stressful. It's not all beautiful rainbows. There might be moments of a breakdown, or moments of I don't know what's going on, I don't know how this is going to work. But you just have to remind yourself that it is going to work, and that you are going to be okay, and that you are going to get through this, and that you're human. But as we know, the transition, it's not always a clear path of how it's going to happen, and it might feel really scary. But you just got to try, because if not, you'll never know.
Yeah, and just allow yourself to feel all the feelings along the way as well. Like, we have emotions there for a reason. They might be telling us like messengers of which way to go, or what to do, or whatever it is, or just allowing ourselves to feel it all. So allow yourself to feel those emotions, and along your path, along your journey, you know, cry, scream in your pillow, journal, punch your pillow. I'm thinking about all the things I've done along my journey, just to like feel the emotions, dance it out. anything just to get that energy moving, because emotion is energy in motion. So keep getting that energy moving so that you move that energy and then you can keep going along your path. Don't get stuck in the emotion.
Yeah. Yes. And I might have stayed calm in this unknown, but I recently just went through a massive transition into motherhood, and that was very emotional as I was transitioning into this one. So
probably one of the biggest transitions that you can go through.
Yeah, that would be another YouTube video.
Yeah, we can talk about that.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Cool. Well, I think that's it for now.
Yes.
Thank you, Kayla.
And if you are on your big journey right now and you've jumped into the unknown, or you're leaping, or you need support, or just telling your story, we would love to hear from you. We'd love to hear how your leap went.
But also subscribe to this channel. And also, where can people find out more about you?
Yeah, so my Instagram is Fearless Sunflowers, and my website is fearlesssunflowers.com.
Yay.
And I would love to hear from you.
Yes.
Yes.
That's amazing. Cool.
Awesome. Thank you for listening, and yeah, subscribe to her channel because she has lots of awesome things to talk about.
Yeah, when I'm not being lazy. Ciao!
No, it's just this heat.
I know, the heat. Alright, bye!